I'm not sure how many X's there are. I know there's I think 8X, 10X, uh 40X, 100X, and they're sort of the only ones that I've heard of. But the 40X, I find I get the the difference is that I had a 10X one time and I got maybe about a year out of it and then struggled to get it back into shape and in good condition. Whereas whenever I buy the 40X, and that they're up around that $1,000 mark, whenever I buy the 40X, I usually get about 4 years out of it, and it's still like, and for the first 2 years, it still looks brand new, and then the next 2 years, like you're always shaping her up a little bit more often than normal, but you get that. I guess what you pay for is what you get, and you get that better quality, I suppose.
Yeah, well, actually, so the X's are a percentage of how much beaver is in the felt of your hat. So it only really goes to 100X, and the beaver's the best quality fur you can use to felt to make a hat. So yeah, there's the 40X would be 40% beaver fur, and then the rest would be whether it's rabbit or the poorer quality of the fur out of the beaver.
Yeah, right. Because I think, don't quote me on this, but I think that every felt hat is handmade. I don't think you can make felt hats via machines.
Well, actually, there's two ways. So, like we talked about the bacon the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Bacon is the process. So
Right.
a felt hat is a felted hat. There's two ways to felt a hat. The first way is they use like an agitation, like a vibration in with the beaver fur or the whatever you use, and it sort of meshes it together through vibration, and that's the best way to get the best type of hat. It's a much tighter woven product, I guess you call it. And then the other way is like with thousands of needles, and you weave it like as if grandma's stitching you a blanket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're the two ways to felt.
I've only seen the first way that you said.
Yeah. So the first way is obviously the best way, and that's where you get your tighter felt, I guess you call it. And yeah, that's when you get your best quality product. I guess it comes down to, at the end of the day, I don't know whether they call it a hat smith or a hat maker. Or,
I think you had, yeah. I'm not
but
sure.
it also comes down to the skill set of the person doing it as well.
Yeah.
Did you guys know when the first cowboy hat was found or dated back to, I should say?
I know that old Mr. Stetson himself started the trend, didn't he?
No, it was a little bit before then. It was in Mongolia in the 1200s. The first cowboy hat was dated back to, but around that 1865, John Stetson bought the hat.
Made it popular.
Yeah, and now Stetson's hat has grown into what everyone knows them today.
You wonder how they managed to find that process in making them. Like, it blows my mind. Like, obviously, like you said, Mitchell, before, in the processes of making the felt hat, on how they would have even come up with that process to begin with, Yeah,
it would have, because it would have just come about with getting a bit of sun off the dome, I guess.
What's the most X that you can get in a felt? It'd have to be, because I've only heard of 100.
Technically, so buddy of mine from Lincoln, Texas, over the pond, he does herring custom hats. If you want a good dome cover, bloody get onto old Clint and he'll hook you up. So he actually does a 1000X hat, but I'm naturally curious about how everything works. So I've chewed on his ear a fair bit about these things.
How would you do a 1000X hat if you said before that it's running off the percentages and it wouldn't 100% be 100?
Correct. So he made it up. I don't know whether he was the first one to do it, but he used to call it, so the beaver belly fur is the best quality fur from the belly of the beaver.
Right.
And the rest of the beaver, so if you think of it, how do you explain it to me? If you think of it like woven strains, your 100X beaver is 100 strains of beaver fur all knitted and meshed together, or felted together. The belly of the beaver is a lot finer fur, so it all meshed and felted together is 1,000 strains.
Gotcha.
So it's far tighter mesh, far stronger product, and a far smoother product. So he used to make his hats He used to make he used to make his hats. He used to make the 100X beaver, which is pure beaver fur. So when they actually going back, I'll go back a step here. When they skin the pelt off the beaver, they put it through like a hopper and it separates the different grades of the fur. And he would make his 100X hats, which is pure beaver fur. But then for like a rural flash hat, he would use the beaver belly, and he used to call it the 100X beaver hat and then the beaver belly. And it didn't really catch on, and no one really knew the difference in that. So he just started calling it the 1000X beaver, and then it's far hardier. So he's got a hat there that he'll post on his socials and that if you want to look him up. And it's 5 or 10 years old, and he wears it everywhere. It's his, like, he's a cowboy rancher through and through. He goes and runs his cows down on his nag every week and lives off the land and ranches and whatever. And yeah, out in the weather, in the snow, the rain, that Texas environment, you've dabbled a bit in that, Taryn. It's not the easiest of environments. And yeah, he's got some hats that are 5 or 10 years old with that 1000X beaver belly, and they are better shaped than some of the hats we get new.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just the better quality product. So yeah, technically you can't get any better than 100X, and he reckons there's a lot of smoke and mirrors with the 10X, the 30X, the 40X. He's like, you'll find that a lot of the commercial wholesalers, he's like, beaver fur is expensive. And if you can buy a hat that's more than 50X for less than a couple grand, he's like, they're lying to you. There's nowhere near that much beaver in it.
Mm.
And anyway, he's a whiz. He does a bit of leather tooling and that too. He's a proper hand. And yeah, I've often chewed on his ear because it does. I'm interested in stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.